Representatives denounce the sequester cuts to education. A local organization helps women get back to work. And school board runoff candidate Tyron Hampton is here to tell us his plans to win the seat. All that plus CCN weather next on CCN Crown City News. Your news, your neighborhood, seconds away.
Do you have a great business idea? The Pasadena Enterprise Zone can help. The Pasadena Enterprise Zone, open for business.
Hi, I'm Jesse Avila at the Convalescent Aid Society, a nonprofit organization established in 1923. We provide the free loan of durable medical equipment, of hospital beds, wheelchairs, walkers, canes, and many other items. Your donations and contributions are welcome and greatly appreciated. We are located at 3255 East Foothill Boulevard in Pasadena.
We're here to help you!
Please give us a call and check for availability at 626-793-1696.
Hi everyone, thanks for watching CCN Crown City News, your neighborhood. I'm Sunita Joshua Madison. Our top story, major cuts in government spending set off to affect a broad range of federally funded programs, has become the nation's latest fiscal crisis. The sequester, which took effect on March 1st, has been the topic of conversation among Washington insiders and regular folks across the nation. On Friday, congressional representatives Adam Schiff and Judy brought the debate home, speaking out against what they see as unnecessary cuts to already strapped education budgets. CCN's Paulo Alejandria was there and has the story.
Congressman Adam Schiff and Congresswoman Judy held a press conference here at the Mothers Club in Pasadena Friday to discuss sequestration cuts and their impact on educational resources in the local community. Major cuts in government spending set to affect a broad range of federally funded programs has become the nation's latest fiscal crisis, known to the public as the sequester. These substantial budget cuts and their effects to the area of education was the focus during a press conference on Friday. Congressman Adam Schiff and Congresswoman Judy hosted the event along with Mayor Bill Bogard and Pasadena Unified School District Superintendent John Gundry to criticize the across-the-board cuts. And Schiff spoke out against what they say are slashes to spending without considering who gets hurt. The cuts set off a public debate and highlighted further discord in our government. The two Democrats accused the other side of playing politics with public services, especially education funds.
Can I just get you to comment on whether or not sequestration cuts are a sign of a complete breakdown in Congress?
Well, I think it's a pretty good sign. We have an incredibly dysfunctional Congress, and I think it's probably the worst in a generation. I hope that with the meetings the President is having now, and with the impact of the sequester now propagating throughout the country, that some of those GOP members will come to the table, that we're willing to close those special interest loopholes.
There is a group there that is so conservative that they would be content with just going from one manufactured crisis to the next. But we know that we cannot have this country go forward in this way. It is very dysfunctional.
Pasadena schools face an estimated $2 million of cuts in federal spending. According to Schiff's office, PUSD alone would be hit with a 5.9% reduction, totaling almost $900,000, targeting Title I, Title II, and IDEA funds. These cuts, mounted on previous budget cuts of $26 million since 2010, further exacerbate PUSD's efforts in providing quality education and programs with less economic resources and less staff. Superintendent John Gundry says challenges facing the district have been especially difficult at a time when district parents expect higher quality education and programs for their children, despite dwindling resources. Last month, PUSD announced layoff notices for almost 81 employees to close a $7 to $12 million budget deficit.
They don't want to hear it from us that we don't have the funds for it, because they think, well, it's your responsibility to do that. And they don't really want to worry about where the money is going to come from. They think that that's our business to figure out how to properly fund and run state-of-the-art programs. And so my response to them is, well, you know, it is my job to do that. I said, so what I asked from you is for you to contact your legislators. And I know from experience that if legislators hear it enough, you can change their minds.
We caught up with Schiff and Chu after the conference to discuss what they see as the significant impacts of sequestration if a compromise is not reached in Washington.
Unless something is done, there will be cuts that will be already happening. And in fact, our federal employees are getting furlough notices for days in which they will be unpaid. This will have an effect, for instance, at the airports. We'll have workers there who will have less days, and what that means is longer lines at the airport, some say as long as 4 hours. It means fewer meat inspectors. Businesses such as restaurants and grocery stores may even have to shut down because they have to have those inspectors in order to work.
Probably the most significant impact is that 750,000 Americans will be unemployed. We're going to lose that number of jobs, and that is just devastating. It makes no sense for us to pursue a policy that would knowingly endanger 750,000 jobs.
In Pasadena, Paulo, Alejandria, CCN.
Thanks for that report, Paulo. As you might imagine, congressional Republicans have a different view on the sequester than their Democratic counterparts. Speaker of the House John Boehner claimed in a recent press conference that it was the president who originally proposed the sequestration, yet he's far more interested in holding campaign rallies than he is in urging Senate Democrats to actually pass a plan. In a speech on the Senate floor, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell said, "Remember, we're only talking about cutting 2 to 3% of the budget. Any business owner or middle-class parent will tell you it's completely ridiculous to think Washington can't find a better way to cut 2 to 3% of the federal budget at a time when we're $16 trillion in debt." End quote. Well, hopefully both sides can come to some agreement on those cuts and how they can be handled logically and determine if any revenue proposals will be included. Now here are some snapshots of stories you may have missed this past week right here in the San Gabriel Valley. On Sunday, Pasadena police searched through yards near Stanton and Mentone streets looking for a domestic violence suspect. Police asked residents to stay in their homes while they used canine units to search for the suspect, who is said to be a parolee. The man, whose name was not released, was involved in a domestic violence dispute with his estranged girlfriend. The suspect struck her with his car. She was hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries. The suspect fled the scene on foot, heading north towards Stanton Street. Police searched until about 5 p.m. without success. No description of the suspect is yet available. And here's one for the Darwin Awards. 2 thieves who robbed a liquor store escaped the police after a brief chase on Saturday, but they didn't quite make a clean getaway. The 2 left their ID cards and an inmate wristband from a previous stay at the county jail. South Pasadena police said the robbery happened at about 1:30 p.m. at the Bristol Farms on 606 Fair Oaks. The suspects fled in a 1996 Honda. The police have gave pursuit, but the suspects managed to escape on foot after bailing out of their sick car on the 300 block of South Garfield Avenue. Along with their IDs, the suspects also left behind the nearly $300 in alcohol they stole. Anyone with information should call LA Crime Stoppers at 800-222-TIPS or go to lacrimestoppers.org. With challenges in childcare and receiving competitive pay, women face additional hurdles when it comes to finding work. We'll tell you about an organization who helps support women get back to work. And is spring here or winter temps sticking around? Naomi Trone has a look at the week ahead when we return on CCN Crown City News. Your news, your neighborhood. Stay tuned.
This CCN Green Minute is brought to you by Southern California Edison.
Hi, I'm Nuno with CCN, and I'm here with Janetta Harris to give us some tips on how customers can save energy and money.
Great. Thank you, Luna. First, I'd like to offer to our customers, if you're in the market for purchasing new appliances, please take a look at the Energy Star emblem that may be on them. You'll see 2 numbers on them. One number obviously is the purchase price of the appliance. The other number reflects how much energy they will actually save in a year. So make sure we look for those. We not only have them on appliances, but also electronic devices.
And what kind of electronic devices besides the refrigerators and the kitchen appliances can customers look for?
We all like computers, right? We all want those laptops. We need printers to get information out. So again, the Energy Star logo will be on those appliances or those electronic devices as well. We have a host of information, a lot of electronic and energy efficiency tips on sce.com/tips, or they can call into our call center at 800-736-4777.
Thanks so much. I'm sure everyone appreciates those ways that they can save money and energy. This has been your Southern California Edison Green Minute.
This CCN Green Minute is brought to you by Southern California Edison.
Welcome back. The economy has been rough for many workers these past years, with job losses and falling incomes. In January, unemployment for adult women surpassed unemployment for adult men for the first time in 6 years, though the numbers have evened out again. Yet women still struggle to earn as much as their male counterparts doing the same job. One local organization guides women on the job hunt with resources and support. CCN's Nuno has the story.
According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, in 1979, women earned about 62% as much as men. In recent years, women to men's earning ratio peaked at 81% in 2006. Yet some women, like Luann Lynch, are finding it hard to find high-paying jobs and are using organizations like Women at Work to find employment.
Today is my first day of being laid off of 2 years. I work for a company here in Pasadena. I have been a volunteer here before at Women at Work, and it's a great job resource center.
Though the economy added 236,000 jobs in February, bringing the unemployment rate down to 7.7%, many worry that the sequestration cuts risk any gains made in the economy and slow the pace of job creation. Despite signs of job growth in all sectors, there are still fears that the decrease in unemployment reflect job seekers who just stopped looking. The Job Resource Center's mission is to help women reach their full employment and earnings potential. Unemployed women like Anita Delquilla use the center's support to overcome any reasons and doubts to give up.
You just have to psych yourself up every day, and it's not easy. But, you do it, because if I didn't do it, I think I'd be in worse shape. The fact that I actually have a resource to come to, put in the time, put in the groundwork, makes me feel like I'm putting in the effort, that it's been a productive day.
Like Anita, nearly 20 to 30 job seekers attend the Career Center's Job Club every Monday. Women from across the San Gabriel Valley and Los Angeles come to discuss employment trends, exchange encouraging support, and hear about the hot jobs of the week. Assistant Director Janet Pope Givens says this is what makes Women at Work a special place.
We provide the resources for people to either get a job, get a better job, or for people who are re-entering the workplace and want to improve their skills.
Just to reiterate, Women at Work is a nonprofit organization. And if you want more information about Women at Work, go to womenatwork.org, or you can come by on Mondays at 12:30 where they have their hot jobs list, and you can find all the hot jobs for the week. In Pasadena, I'm Nuno, CCN.
Thanks for that report, Lily. Women at Work is in its 34th year of operation. Technology has come a long way since they started, and they've kept up, but they still encourage good old-fashioned face-to-face interviews with employers. To help job seekers, Women at Work hosts speed interviews. Yes, you've heard of speed dating to meet your match, and this is the same idea. If you would like more information about the events, job openings, or classes, you can call them at 626-796-6870 or visit them online at womenatwork.org. Hail, rain, and even, oh boy, we had some volume problems there. Well, let's start again. Hail, rain, and even some snow. Last week's weather was a depressing reminder that winter's still here. Could this week's outlook be even sunnier? CCN's meteorologist Curtis Peak is out this week, but we'll check in with CCN weather reporter to tell us, that's Naomi Trone, what we can expect when we head outside.
Right now, 77 degrees, winds southwest 9 miles per hour, humidity 31%, barometric pressure 30.06. Our sunrise today is 7:07, along with our sunset 6:56. Our lows, 50s across the board. Our high spot, Pasadena, coming in at 55. Our coldest spot, Glendale and Alhambra, coming in at 51, and Monterey Park, El Monte, Arcadia, Monrovia, and West Covina at 52. Our highs, 70s across the board. Our hot spot, Arcadia, Monrovia, El Monte, and West Covina, coming in at 79. Pasadena, 77. Glendale, Alhambra, and Monterey Park at 71. Let's take a look at our 7-day forecast. Well, An upper ridge is coming and offshore flow, which is going to bring warm temps this week. Tuesday, 82. Wednesday and Thursday, 85. Friday, 83. The ridge is going to weaken, so it's going to cool down a little, with Saturday, 80. Sunday, 78. Monday, 76. That's going to be it. It's going to be a warm, beautiful week. No more rain. Thank you.
Yay, we like hearing that. Thanks for that, Naomi. Well, the votes have been counted and the winner is undecided. But Tyron Hampton is here live in studio to tell us why he thinks he'll be your next school board member. That's coming up next on Crown City News, your neighborhood. Thank you.
My name's Reggie. Just recently, my wife and I took in her sister's children. Now, we already had 4. So I went from becoming a family man to a man with a bigger family. Now, you can't eat love, so I don't know how I'm gonna feed them tonight. How was that, Rich?
I think I look more like Denzel.
That's cold, man.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
But it would be safe to keep your distance until there's no secret that makes you smile. Reliable sources say that chicken soup has found their way out of this
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
2 outs with a runner on first base. Now the big guy comes off the bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Welcome back. Last Tuesday, I co-anchored Pasadena's live election results with Barry Gordon on KPAS. As you know, City Council members Victor Gordo and Terry Tornick ran unopposed for Districts 5 and 7, respectively. And all 3 school board incumbents, Kim Kenny, Elizabeth Pomeroy, and Scott Phelps, easily defeated their opponents in the new redrawn districts of 1, 5, and 7. Districts 3 saw the 2 toughest races for both the City Council and the school board. John Kennedy beat Ishmael Trone for the City Council seat, winning 55% of the vote. But the school board race proved to be much closer. The top 2 candidates, Tyron Hampton and Ruben Hueso, both failed to receive the 50+1 percentage of the vote, so they'll face each other again for the runoff election on April 16th. Joining us live in studio is Tyron Hampton to share his vision and tell you why he should get your vote in April. Thanks for being here, Tyron.
Thank you for inviting me.
Well, so, you know, this is a really close race and one of the only close race of the whole election. Did you expect this runoff?
You know what? I didn't expect a runoff. I would say I was very optimistic about everything, and you know, I knocked and just hit as many doors as I possibly could. I was just really happy that the community got behind and made it to the polls.
So now, you know, speaking of the community that went to the polls, you know, we're showing only 11% of voter turnout, which is very low. What do you think with the April 16th elections? You know, since this is the only runoff, do you expect a high turnout?
I'm hoping that we get more community support and more community behind the movement. It is important that our youth are taken care of, and we're looking out for the youth. That's what I feel. So I feel that with 68% of the youth living in District 3, we should at least get 68% turnout, you know? So I hope that we do have a high turnout. That'd be nice.
Okay. Are you looking to do anything different in this next election?
You know what? It's about informing those that are in our community in District 3. It's about making sure that each and every one of them know all 15,000 of the voters there know that, April 16th is very important no matter who you vote for. Hopefully you're voting for me, but, it's very important that you come out and support one of the candidates.
Now, speaking of the March 5th election, there was an incident on Election Day with a volunteer with Hueso's team saying that someone in your camp, there was some verbal accosting and some shoving. What can you tell us about that incident?
You know what, I can't tell you much about that incident. I know nothing about it. I had $900 to run on, so I didn't have any supporters, so I thought that was kind of weird incident, but I condone no violence, and everybody knows that I've ran a very classy campaign. I've never gone negative, and I never will.
Have you talked to your opponent about that incident directly?
No, I have not talked to my opponent about that incident directly.
And no one from your team has said, "Hey, that was me," or
it's me.
You're the team?
I'm the team. Team and the community. I mean, it's not really about me. It's about the community and making sure that the community comes out behind this.
Okay. Well, now your race seemed really low-key until the Pasadena Weekly reported that United Teachers Pasadena pulled their endorsement for Ruben, and that really kind of changed things. Do you think that was part of the reason that caused the runoff?
No, I mean, I think that they pulled their endorsement very, very late in the game, so he won most of his votes. I would say, I believe the absentee votes, he won most of those. So they pulled that endorsement very late, and just sad to hear that happened to him.
It must be tough for a campaign to have those kinds of changes happen.
Yeah, someone else asked me the same question. They said that's never happened in campaign in general, in anybody's campaign. Nobody ever gets their endorsement pulled. But you know what? You've just got to move on. You got to move forward from it.
Especially, it didn't seem like it was something that he did personally. That caused that.
You know what? I don't know. I think that'd be something that you might want to ask him about, as far as endorsements getting pulled or not.
Well, speaking of endorsements, you also got one from a union, the California School Employees Association, but you're also a registered Republican, and you also sought out the local Tea Party organization, TPAC.
That's untrue.
You did. That is untrue. Those were the reports out there. So
tell
us about that.
That's untrue. That has not been reported by anybody. That was a blog. That was just. I read the blog myself, and I was like, "This is crazy." The Tea Party, me, really? You know what I'm saying?
Well, no, tell us. I mean, there's plenty of people going for Tea Party endorsements.
Well, no, that's what I'm not going for. I'm about building the community and making sure that we don't alienate anybody in the community. But you know what? I asked for the Democrats' support. I asked for if I could ask for the Republican support, I asked them for theirs. If the Peace and Freedom Party was around in the Green Party, I would ask them for their support. If there was a KKK meeting and someone lived in my district, I would most definitely ask for their vote.
That might be a little far.
I'm just saying we've got to ask for everybody's vote, but no, I didn't solicit anybody's support.
Well, I mean, doesn't a vote, and an endorsement, that's supporting the beliefs and values of that organization. So it is, you do have to be picky and choosy as to who is endorsing you. And as a Republican, is it counterintuitive for the voters to think that you also got a union endorsement?
No, the union that endorsed me are members that live in the community. And as far as an endorsement goes, they've given me an endorsement, but I got no financial gain from that, but just to have endorsements in the community, that's what it's about. You've got to get, you got to get the community to come out and endorse you in support of you. So.
But I mean, if there was an organization that you didn't feel was going to contribute to your mission on the school board, then you wouldn't necessarily.
No, I wouldn't seek out. I would not seek out their endorsement if I felt like that there's nothing that they could possibly do for me, or not nothing that they could possibly do for me, but nothing that pertains to schools.
Okay. So what do you want to bring to the table on the school board? I mean, you have these, when you're looking at the board, there's a lot of incumbents. Most of the incumbents won. So there's not a lot of change except for in your race. And, the other changes is Ramon Miramontes not being on the board. Right. He definitely stirred things up. And then Kim Kenny's original seat will be reappointed. So there's not a lot of changes, and you're running with people who've been there for a while. What do you hope to bring to the table?
What I bring to the table is we've got to bring that youthful energy, and also not only am I going to just bring a youthful energy, I'm also going to bring the voice of the people with me to the board, and that's what it's about. It's about building a better community, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build a better community from the board and make sure that everybody that is in District 3, and not only just District 3, but all of PUSD, every student, no matter what race, religion, or creed is, that they get the fair shot that they deserve in our education system.
Well, now, according to the Department of Health, Pasadena Public Schools have really struggled with the dropout rate.
True.
How do you plan to make any, turn that around, basically?
Well, what we've got to do is we've got to make sure that the youth, they listen to those that they best relate to. So if I have to go out and knock on doors and make sure, even get with some of the chasers out here and make sure that our students are—
Are you going to be the truancy officer as well?
If I've got to. If we've got to do whatever it takes, and that's what I want to do by building a community. We have a community members that look out for each and every student that's walking home from school. Mr. Johnson down the street, when I'm walking home from school, he's going to say, "Hey, Tyrone, what are you doing? You shouldn't be doing that." Or, so it's about building the community.
Well, you're a successful graduate of PUSD.
Right.
Did you feel that kind of support while you were in school?
You know what? I had a great principal. Dr. Eddie Newman was my principal at John Muir High School, and Dr. Eddie Newman made it her point to reach out to every ninth grader's family. And I think that we need to bring that back and try to bring the community back into the schools if we possibly can. We can't blame teachers. We can't blame budget being the issue. It's now time for or parents. We can't put blame on anybody. We all as a community need to get together and hug our schools. Put our arms around the schools. It's very important.
Is that going to be enough? Hugs?
No. I think love is. I think love is a key answer to a lot of questions. It really is.
Well, speaking about love, there hasn't been a lot of that on the school board in the past. We've had representatives here, school board members, who've really shown a lot of frustration with the board and how it's been working. How do you propose to, bring together the rift that's going on in the school board?
I think just like what I'm saying with the community, we've got to listen to everybody's views. No matter what their views are, even if you think that their view is radical or if you think their view is not going to change anything, I think it's important to listen to everybody's views, and I think that the board needs to have meetings, not closed meetings, but community meetings, and that's how we bridge those gaps. Mm-hmm. We listen to the community, and that's all we are. We're a voice. We're voted in by the community, and we should be the community's voice. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm going to tell the board members when I get there.
I wanted to go back to, when I had talked to you about the Tea Party support, and you were very adamant of no, you had not sought that out.
Right.
Why so adamant about not seeking it out if you're kind of seeking, other endorsements?
Well, I would not get the endorsement of the Tea Party. I don't know if you're familiar with any of their views. I'm not that familiar with their views, but I would say that I don't believe that they are running in the direction that I want to bring our community.
So even as a Republican?
It isolates. The Tea Party is a nonpartisan organization. It's not a Republican.
Well, it's definitely Republican-based.
It is Republican-based.
It's probably, on the right side.
Remember, I'm a Republican. I registered at the age of 18 years old. When you're 18 years old and you register, you're very impressionable. And every time I went to Washington, D.C., the only people that took their time out to meet me, even out of their district or out of their even state, were Republicans. And also, all of my friends that I could think of when I was younger, I'd be like, man, this guy has a nice house.
Yeah, okay. So you might reconsider that.
So, there are some things, there are things that you would probably reconsider. I was 18.
All right, well, a lot's going to change.
Can't hold me against that.
And good luck with the runoff. Thanks
you
for being here. That's it for this newscast. Please reach out to us with news tips and community news at crowncitynews.com. You can also join us on Facebook and Twitter to keep updated on the latest. Thanks to Tyron Hampton for joining us in studio. Thanks to all of our sponsors, including Southern California Edison, Wink Marketing, the Pasadena Enterprise Center office building with available space, and Dr. Fareed Zarif. Thanks also to the CCN crew. They make this show possible. And finally, we thank you for watching CCN Crown City News. Join us each week as we cover the news in Pasadena and the San Gabriel Valley. For all of us here at CCN, I'm Sunita Joshua Madison. Have a great week.
supporting another candidate. They had nothing on me, period, and they just wanted to say, oh, he reached out to the Tea Party.